they will need to get that defense set. And for NC State, they've got to defend without fouling. Florida State has guards that can dribble, penetrate, can get to the rim. They're extremely athletic, especially with Jackson coming off of the bench. And so NC State will have to do their job without putting fouls on the board.
Elissa Cunane, River Baldwin ready to tip it up with D. Cantner in the center. Game 2. Let's go from Greensboro. Florida State with the basketball. Here is the freshman point guard Gordon. Whips it out to Howard. It's going to trickle all the way down and out of bounds. Somebody's got to come get the basketball. D. Cantner says, I can't put it in.
D. Cantner originally signaled that it was going to be Florida State's ball, so she just wanted to get Wes Moore's blood pressure up here in the first few seconds of the game.
It's Crutchfield who takes the inbounds pass, member of the ACC All-Tournament team last year for the Wolfpack. Elissa Cunane was the most valuable player in the Wolfpack's run to defend their ACC tournament title a year ago. Averaged 23 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, shot over 60% in Greensboro. River Baldwin committing the foul on the play. Perez, good look from the three-point line. Gordon, first true freshman to start at point guard since the 2007-2008 season for Florida State. Local product, two-time Florida Gatorade Player of the Year in high school. Here is Morgan Jones. Put her stamp on the game yesterday late. Jump ball.
And you'll see in NC State's man-to-man, they will give Morgan Jones that shot. They would rather go under a screen and keep her out of the paint because they know how good she is at getting to the rim. She will have to prove that she can knock that down.
Cunane will drive to the basket. Baldwin trying to take the charge. There's no whistle on the play at all.
Unexpected there for Cunane because Baldwin usually likes to body you.
Who's this? Rebound Cunane. NC State's last game, boy, were they pushed. They were on the road in Blacksburg at Virginia Tech, the team you just saw upset the North Carolina Tar Heels as Kayla Jones goes to the rack. And NC State held on but barely. 2-point win in Blacksburg in the regular season finale. But in that game, Elissa Cunane really came out with a lot of determination. Gordon nails the three.
On the switch, a little late by Perez to get out on Gordon, and the freshman has been fearless so far in her first ACC tournament here.
And I always wonder, are there going to be any nerves you get on this stage? Doesn't look like it from this member of the all-freshman team. Certainly no nerves for a veteran like Kayla Jones. Brown Turner, the drive, the dish, Jones with the finish. That's Wolfpack basketball at its finest.
A touch of the paint. And Jones so reliable as a finisher around the cup.
It was a 20-point win for the Wolfpack in the regular season in early February in Raleigh. So Florida State certainly hoping for a much better performance than they had the first time around.
Florida State has to be willing to run through their offense and be patient. Right there, a little miscommunication on the cut, and Perez is late to close out on Gordon. He's not afraid to put it up.
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of fear in this freshman at all. Aaron Howard, season high 16 points yesterday. Seminoles turn it over. Cunane, easy two.
You cannot allow Elissa Cunane to push you up the lane and have that much space to work with on the backside.
Elissa Cunane, the preseason ACC Player of the Year. She and Kitley, the top 2 contenders for the award. Virginia Tech's Liz Kitley did win it. Cunane's numbers not quite the same, but she definitely didn't play as many minutes for her team throughout the season with this great balance that the Wolfpack has. Valencia Myers working on Cunane, does well.
Good muscle and finish by Myers. Good footwork.
Aspirations all around for this NC State team that's made 3 straight Sweet 16 appearances, are projected right now as a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. And they get a couple more points. This time it's Brown-Turner. Elissa Cunane stepping into the lane to take it away. Yeah, she's running the floor, had it tapped out at the last moment, but kept her composure.
That's what you want to see if you're Wes Moore. Your 6'5" center getting in the passing lane.
And he always says she kind of wants to be a point guard. He has to take the ball out of her hands sometimes.
She's definitely warming up to the three-point line, so I see guard play written all over her face today. I don't know if that's a good thing.
And she has both aspects to her game, on the inside, on the outside. Jones right around Puisis. Double digits now for the Pack. And there's a lot of red in the stands here in Greensboro, applauding this start by NC State.
4 turnovers by the Seminoles, 4 points off of turnovers by the Wolfpack. Right here, Elissa Cunane, 6'5", out on the break off of the steal, doesn't get it to go the first time, uses the glass. And the defense of the Pack. Jones out and running, and so is NC State.
I need big king. I need two.
On the flank.
And Associates. And by Z-Max Micro Lubricant. Extend engine life. Increase fuel mileage. Available at Advance Auto Parts.
NC State head coach Wes Moore wondered if his team might take a little while to warm up here in Greensboro. Well, they did miss their first 4 shots. It didn't last long. They made their last 5, and this is a team that is accustomed to playing with pressure and expectations. This is one of the best teams in the country, LaChina, as the numbers would show you.
Yeah, it's really incredible what Wes has done with this team, and he's had a consistent lineup, some veterans, a lot of versatility, but in the last NCAA reveal, they're projected to be a #1 seed. That should not change, even if Florida State pulls an upset here. So Wes Moore would like to see his team defend their ACC tournament title. That's what's #1 on his mind right now, is the next game up.
One of those tournament titles was won against Florida State a couple of years ago. For more on the Seminoles, let's go to Tabitha.
Well, Sue Semrau went into her huddle and told her kids, listen, you've got to stop penetration, cut off the middle, and take charges. And assistant coach Morgan Tolles came in and said, listen, the posts are working their butts off to front and still. The help side defense from the guards have got to be there on the backside.
Sara Bejedi, Bianca Jackson in off the bench, along with Valencia Myers for the Seminoles right now. Bejedi hit some big free throws late in the game yesterday. But the big buckets we already told you about. You need one, you go to 24.
Out of the break, Sue Semrau said, let's get the ball to Morgan. They're calm and their most consistent player this season.
Brown-Turner. Back out, Crutchfield, no. Bejedi, Jackson, Howard all transfers into the Florida State program over the last couple of years. Here is Howard, knocked down 4 threes, a season high yesterday. Cunane is already hitting the glass hard in this first quarter for the Wolfpack. She has this in her arsenal. Told you.
He was warming it up. That's the shot that she was, and a smile cracking there from Cunane, but that's the shot she was warming up with heading into today's contest.
Come on, that's why Debbie Antonelli calls her Big Smile. It's stuck, it fits her personality. Elissa Cunane with 7 points to lead the Wolfpack. Well, Myers had to work for that rebound. She held on, then she was fouled.
And the offensive glass is going to be important to Florida State. You're on day 2, your legs are a little tired, shots may be short, but out of that double inside, Myers too late to get back to Cunane. The backside guard doesn't rotate, and Sue Semrau's like, yeah, we got to guard her out there as well.
Not a big smile from Sue Semrau after that play. longest tenured coach in ACC history. Her 24th season on the sidelines, has more wins in her time at the Seminoles than anybody else in program history.
And pushing this team into the NCAA tournament may be one of her best coaching jobs after all they've been through this year. I mean, with the injuries, everyone's had to deal with COVID, but they have been hit with a lot. And it's the timing of their injuries and their COVID protocols that have really hurt them. And Sue has gotten this team playing their best basketball right now, winning 8 of the last 11.
She had to get back in the flow of things after taking a leave of absence last year to care for her mother. Brooke Wyckoff did a tremendous job, associate head coach, leading the team. Good defense there by the Seminoles, tapping it away from Cunane.
And that is something that Tabitha talked about in her report, was that help on the backside on Cunane.
Brown Turner wanting to go back inside. Everybody going for the ball. That left a wide open look for Elissa Cunane. She already has 9 points in the game, and she's showing you how deadly she can be on the inside and on the outside. Freshman Michaela Timpson, number 21. Out on the floor now for Florida State. Bejedi gets it to her, but she bumped right into Kayla Jones. That's an offensive foul on Bejedi.
Jones is so savvy, good basketball IQ, sees the ball coming, gets in position. And the fact that she gets her body between the ball handler and the possible pass. You know, you always think about getting between the ball handler and the bucket, but there was no angle for a pass either on a streaking offensive player.
Veteran play by a veteran player in Kayla Jones. Brown Turner nearly had it batted away by Bejedi. Perez, open. Goodbye.
Ready to shoot. Coming to the ball as though she's accepting a pass, knowing that she's got enough space to get that shot off.
10-point lead now for the Wolfpack. NC State 26-3 on the season, 17-1. Their most ever wins in ACC play. Bejedi says, I can shoot the 3-2, and Florida State need a little offensive life.
They did, and they will need contributions from Bejedi, from Howard. It's going to take a little bit of everyone to keep up with NC State's offense, especially in transition.
Boy, you better call out that screen. Bejedi took the worst of it, and it left Perez wide open. Cunane, again, another steal. She's like a point guard, running the floor, get the assist. Jada Boyden off the bench for 2. A lot of reasons to smile if you're an NC State fan right now. If there was rust, didn't show. Wolfpack rolling. They have 11 points off of turnovers right now, so Florida State needs to take care of the ball. Bejedi already with 5 points.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Bejedi take a fall a moment ago off a screen, but she bounced back up and she's ready to shoot it.
And she's out there wincing, can see her, but still trying to gut this one out. Just over a minute to play in our first quarter. Crutchfield tried to take it over Jones, prides herself on her defense. Did a tremendous job on Swartz, Cameron Swartz yesterday, Jones. A little out of control there, but it is picked up by the freshman, Timpson.
Again, the second effort of Florida State is going to be so important, and Timpson is very athletic. She's long. To use that size against the versatility of the forward for NC State, which I think is one of their biggest strengths.
Bejedi just picked up her second foul.
You may be concerned about settling into your offense, but defense had got NC State going. Good screen there by Cunane, and good pull-up by Perez in transition.
Bejedi, I'm talking to my teammates saying, come on, somebody needs to tell me when 6-5's coming my way.
Gotta have communication.
Returning for the Seminoles, number 0, Jackson.
39 seconds left in our first quarter. NC State 7-point lead, looking for a little more. Here's Diamond Johnson, ACC 6th Player of the Year. Doesn't take you long to notice her presence on the floor. Well, she's the only other player averages in double figures on this NC State team other than Elissa Cunane.
And when she comes into the game, expect the pace to pick up.
We might have to wait. We only have a few seconds left in this first quarter, but we'll have to use some of the Wes Moore-isms that he has to describe the play and the pace of Diamond Johnson as this one goes on. There's some good ones. 5 on the shot clock. River Baldwin gonna have to take it. Doesn't. 7th turnover of the quarter by the Seminoles.
And that's what's hurting them in this first one, Jen. It's been the turnovers. 11 points for the Wolfpack off of those miscues. That's half of their offense.
Here goes Johnson. She's quick. Beat the buzzer. Doesn't get it to go in, but her Wolfpack in the lead. 22-15 after 1 in Greensboro. Second of 4 quarterfinal games coming your way today from the Greensboro Coliseum in the ACC Women's Tournament. Can Sioux Seminoles pull the upset? They trail the regular season champs by 7.
I did say that guards control the game in the postseason, but that doesn't mean that your bigs can't set the tone, and that's what Cunane has done in this one earlier.
How will the Seminoles respond?
They definitely need to try to get some looks for Sammy Puises. I feel like that puts the team's offense at ease when Puises could knock down a couple from long range.
Camille Javi with the reach in on the foul. Talked about Wes Moore. I mean, if you talk to him, it is so enjoyable. You could just sit and listen to him for a while. And he's got his own Wes Moore-isms that I'm sure his players could tell you all about. He's colorful as well as being very talented in what he's built at NC State. As the Wolfpack get the ball back. Now, you mentioned Diamond Johnson's quickness. How quick is she, LaChana? You remember this one?
Oh, yeah. So quick that she can turn off the lights and get in the bed before it's dark.
You can thank Wes Moore for that one. We're just delivering it for you here.
That's one of the isms.
That's one. And she doesn't just bring a spark off the bench. She lights a bonfire. Yeah, we're setting you up, Diamond Johnson. What you got? 9 on the shot clock now. No Cunane in the game at the moment for NC State. Johnson looking for a better shot. Is this it? Boyd says, you bet.
That was well defended. I mean, you got to tip your hat to Boyd because she had the outstretched arms of the defender. Florida State did a good job on that possession right down to the waning moments.
Florida State has never won this ACC tournament. They finished runners-up twice, including in 2020, where they lost in the championship game to NC State. Gordon trying to make her own memories here. The freshman misses, but Myers puts it away.
And Myers making the most of this time with Cunane on the bench, and that's something that Florida State has to look to. They have some depth at the 5 spot with Baldwin, with Myers. They can really flex at the 5, try to get some easy buckets in the paint.
Perez at point being guarded by the freshman Gordon. And that's not how it was supposed to go.
Wes Moore stressed to us yesterday the importance of taking care of the ball. He said, we've got to value possessions. Does not like the careless turnovers.
That was just the first turnover of the game for the Wolfpack, so they have done a good job so far. Myers. 3 Wolfpack players there to grab the rebound. And it goes to Crutchfield, one of the shortest on the floor.
Crutchfield is tall on the floor with Perez and Diamond Johnson. We're not
That's true. Yeah, the short lineup out there. You have Hobby. And Boyd brings you a little height, 6'2".
3 ball handlers, 3 potential point guards.
I always say, though, Crutchfield gets a little height assist with the bun.
This is true.
It gives her a little extra.
I'd agree with that.
And Puises hasn't gotten any looks yet for Florida State in this game. Had 12 points yesterday in the win against Boston College, including 4 triples to get all those points.
The backside of NC State's defense is so wide open as Jackson will go to the free throw line, but they are up in denial position defensively in their man. And so Florida State's got to look to cut through the lane and try to create some backside openings. Look how far up that defense is. A little bump there by Crutchfield, who is one of the best defenders in the league. But Jackson can go get her own shot.
Bianca Jackson, a transfer from South Carolina. As Morgan Jones comes back into the game for Florida State. Cunane gets ready to check back in for the Wolfpack. Jackson, a 77% free throw shooter. Both of her parents have played and coached at Alabama State. A lot of hoops in the family for Jackson.
Actually called a game. Her mom was coaching at Alabama State. Basketball runs in the family. Elissa Cunane is back in.
NC State still out in front. Johnson. Cunane quickly grabs a rebound upon her re-entry and adds a couple more to her total. She's got 11 now.
The touch off of the glass for Cunane. She finds an angle.
Somehow, some way, Bejedi kept that alive. Tries to regroup. Bejedi getting through traffic.
One of the keys for Florida State is definitely attacking the rim. We said in the open that NC State would need to defend without fouling, and that's because Florida State has the ability to dribble, penetrate, and get you on your heels.
Don't want to leave Diamond Johnson too much space. She has her first points. 6 different players have scored for the Wolfpack. Jenny had a look if she wanted it. Johnson slid right out of bounds trying to defend her. 2 points in the game for Morgan Jones.
Oh, Jones got bumped on that.
I think she thought that too. Johnson whips it out to Crutchfield for 3. Everybody around Cunane. That left Brown Turner open.
All NC State around the bucket on the offensive glass.
Florida State really has to fight, you feel like, just to stay in this game. And turnovers can hurt them, but they'll get this one back. No, there are a lot of people out there who rate Elissa Cunane so highly. Why wouldn't you? And it was a tough battle for that ACC Player of the Year award. Elizabeth Kitley, I wonder about her status for tomorrow. The Virginia Tech Hokies will get the winner of this game in the semifinals.
We ran into Kenny Brooks in between games, and he basically said, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, you know, what we'll have in the tank. You know, all I can tell you is my team will be ready for whatever challenges we may face. And they proved that in that overtime win against North Carolina.
Down 2 starters, the Virginia Tech Hokies found their way through for the first time ever to the semifinals of this tournament. So they know they're in. Who they're going to face? It's going to be the Wolfpack, who they played tight in their last game of the regular season, or Florida State. Foul on Bianca Jackson. It's a 9-point NC State lead. 4:28 left to go in quarter number 2.
I need big king, big king. I need.
The pressure taken off of Florida State, though. You take a look at some of their numbers over the season, but that win yesterday, maybe that was enough to get them in.
Yeah, I believe that solidified their place if there were any questions of them being in the NCAA tournament. And I said this yesterday, the selection committee is a what have you done for me lately group. And so sometimes it's when you win. And winning 8 of their last 11, I think, was what has impressed me about Florida State, considering some of the hurdles they had to get over early. And in that winning stretch, they beat Notre Dame, they won at Duke, they beat a NCAA tournament Boston College team, a very good Georgia Tech squad. So some quality wins in that stretch as well.
Obviously, this one would be a rather large feather in the cap if they can find their way back into it, try to take down the Wolfpack. NC State has won 4 in a row in the series between the two teams. Offensive foul is going to go against NC State here, and Cunane. That's her first.
Yeah, using those arms, a little too much force there to establish position by the big girl.
Bejedi driving. You know, the bench has really played big for Florida State in this game. 16 points from non-starters, but part of that is this team has some depth, and Sue Seminoles just been playing around all season long, trying to find the right mix, the right group of players to have out there.
And finding the right chemistry, too. I mean, think about the players themselves having to get comfortable with whoever they may be on the floor with, which has changed a lot throughout the course of this season.
You know, Seminoles will get a chance to get the ball back. The group out there now, Timpson, Bejedi, Myers, and Courtney Weber, who only played less than 30 seconds in yesterday's game, but as a captain on this team, her leadership so important, just hasn't been able to bring it as much on the floor this season. Jackson also off the bench.
And Florida State's playing a lot of one-on-one, which is one of their strengths. You know, they, again, have the quickness and speed off of the bounce to be able to create your shot, to get to the rim, to get to the middle of the paint. But I don't think there's anything wrong with maybe getting a little ball reversal before you look to get to the rim.
There is nary a starter on the floor for the Seminoles at the moment. Boyd, one of the best off the bench, possibly in the country. And she is fouled. Gonna go against Timpson.
And what's scary is that Jada Boyd is starting to kind of hit her stride at the right time. Wes Moore was telling us, you know, she had a well-documented injury in her career, but is feeling good and is healthy, and this gives them even more depth in addition to Diamond.
So Dick Kantner's watching all the contact inside very closely. And she calls Valencia Myers for this one as she was trying to get into it a bit there with Cunane. That's a second personal on Myers. She'll go to the bench. Puisis, Gordon, Baldwin, and Jones, 4 starters back on the floor for Florida State.
And it changes the low block offense for Florida State because Myers is a little bit better back to the basket and creating scoring opportunities.
Gordon, short. Johnson skies for the rebound. Perez. Johnson set her feet, got her shot. Cunane the rebound. Hard foul by Timpson. Doesn't bother Elissa Cunane.
Cunane is outworking every player on the front line for Florida State right now. Posting and then uses a good old swim move to get that inside position for the offensive rebound and finishing strong. Good instincts, good knack for the ball, gets to the boards.
Cunane now with 14 points in the game. She's coming off a 22-point performance in her last game of the regular season. That win at Virginia Tech, 7-0 run by the Wolfpack.
One of Sue Seminoles' keys for this game, she said we have to match their physicality. And that's a play where you've got to be more physical than Cunane and not allow her to get that position.
Johnson ready and waiting. Gordon out in front for Florida State, going against Perez. We'll stay with the Seminoles.
Good job recovering here by Perez. Gets her body squared and then was able to knock it out of bounds.
Seminoles need some points. The first have to get it in. They can't do it. That look about says it all. The drought continues for Florida State. They've made just one of their last 8, gone nearly 4 minutes without a point. It's allowed NC State to open up their largest lead of the game. Brown-Turner, got it. Jakia Brown-Turner, another one of those players of China who really started to come on at the end of the regular season. Had double figures in 8 of the last 11 games to close out the year in the regular season for the Wolfpack.
Yeah, she hit a little stretch in January where she struggled with the last 6 weeks or so. She has really come on strong.
Gordon, the dish to Timpson, set it up nicely.
Gordon can get to spots on the floor like not very many guards can. I mean, she is just really good at penetrating and knowing where to get the bucket.
No roll for Diamond.
Pieces that's been well denied in this first half so far.
There is a foul as Cunane secured the rebound for NC State. She's going to get some free throws, both teams in the bonus with 1:24 to go. 6th rebound of the game for Cunane. And that foul was on Baldwin, her second.
NC State has done a really good job of not allowing Florida State to reverse the ball, to get into their offense. They've been in denial position, and I don't think they get enough credit for defensively what they do. I mean, we look at the offensive weapons and the depth on that end, but they do a good job of taking away tendencies.
Cunane completed a 3-point play earlier, misses the first one here. Be sure to stick around at halftime. Evan Lepler with a very special guest, Virginia Tech head coach Kenny Brooks, whose team is moving on to the semifinals. Be great to hear from Kenny as Cunane hits her second free throw. 15 points in the first half for Cunane.
I agree with Coach Brooks when he told Tabitha at the end of that overtime win that was one of the better ACC tournament games that I've ever been a part of.
That's one where you just really feel so fortunate to be here. Hopefully those watching felt the same way. That's what the postseason's all about. Tremendous game by both teams. 6 to shoot. Baldwin will take it.
A lot of movement for Florida State on offense. A lot of dribbling and watching.
Puisis goes up for the rebound. Looks like she's trying to take over a little bit, but ran into a wall named Camille Hobby. Hobby does a great job, doesn't she, when she gets on the floor? Give Elissa Cunane a break. Perez picking her moment, looking for her options. 5 now to go on the shot clock. Across it goes to Johnson. Short out the front of the rim. Still a couple seconds left on the game clock, so Florida State will get it back. Westmore's team is going to have the lead heading into the halftime break here. Bejedi, good if it goes, but it has a little bit left to go to make it count. 36-23, your halftime score. The regular season champs, the NC State Wolfpack, beginning their title defense here in Greensboro. They've won the last 2 ACC tournament titles. They have a lot of support, a lot of red here in the stands in Greensboro. They end the first half on a 10-2 run. That same type of fight here against Wolfpack.
Well, some teams are best when their back is against the wall, which is a good thing, especially when it's a win-or-go-home time of year. But you've got to want to really have a great showing against the #1 seed in the tournament, despite the odds.
That was a really good game a couple of years ago. Boy, that drive by Brown Turner just left Puisis in the dust.
A nice isolation for Brown Turner to get NC State on the board here in the third quarter.
And just like that, it's the largest lead of the game for the Wolfpack.
Brown Turner's done a nice job on Puisis, using her length to deny Sammy Puisis. I think her getting open early yesterday helped Florida State's offense. But here's Brown Turner turning the corner. Get right to the rim.
2 years ago when these two teams met in the final, there were 12 lead changes, 9 ties. I understand there's a lot different with personnel, but there's also a lot of carryover. And Florida State had the lead. NC State was able to finish strong and get that championship. River Baldwin, good start for her. Yeah, first points.
River Baldwin struggled a little bit in the first half, in particular with fouls. And they need her to use her physicality wisely against Cunane defensively and then finish easily shots at the rim.
Crutchfield had time to set and shoot and make it.
Really good find by Brown Turner, initiating the drive. They like that matchup for Brown Turner to use her quickness off of the dribble. Here it is here against Puisis. She's been attacking her, and the defense collapsed a little too far out. You don't want to leave Kai Crutchfield open out there. She comes into this tournament shooting 46% from beyond the arc.
I mean, that is a pretty incredible number. This is a very good NC State shooting team from 3 and overall, but she set the single season record last year at NC State with 47% from 3, and she's right in that same vicinity again.
And she's shooting a career high from the field at 47%, so getting better with time, you know, like fine wine, Jen, like Jen Hildreth.
Sure. Jones had it swatted, kept with it though, blocked again.
And Jones thought she had an easy one there. I think the length of Howard may have caught her by surprise, and then Myers getting in on the shot blocking as well. That's the intensity that Seminoles wants to see from her team, that second effort.
Yeah, Valencia Myers, one of the top 5 shot blockers all time in Florida State history. Courtney Weber back in the game. Jones had a little separation, it's enough.
So comfortable. We saw her hit a bucket from right about that spot on the floor late in yesterday's win. She likes the free throw line pull up.
Yeah, when she pulls up and the height she gets, I mean, she's going to challenge anybody, try to get up there with her. Meanwhile, does Elissa Cunane need to get a touch here for NC State? She won't on this play. Michaela Jones is fouled instead.
Just smart cutting to the basket there by Kayla Jones. But going back to Morgan Jones, she denies the screen, goes left on the pull-up. You mentioned the elevation she gets on that shot, Jen. It's hard for the defender to get their hands in her view with her eyes on the rim. That's just a tough shot to contest.
Those two Joneses, everybody trying to keep up. They have recently, both of them, reached the 1,000-point plateau for their careers. Morgan Jones for Florida State did it yesterday. Kayla Jones did it in the last game for NC State in that win at Virginia Tech. 2
players that have been willing throughout their career to do whatever is asked of them, sacrificing their offense in some stretches because of balance or because of role, always willing to do whatever it takes on the defensive end, just versatile and unselfish. And the bucket's looking big for Morgan Jones right now.
7 points in the game for Morgan Jones, all ACC first-team pick for the Seminoles. Once again this season, back-to-back, earned it last season as well. Perez, a hesitation, got her what she needed.
Really good hezzy and turn in the corner, the craftiness of Reina Perez.
Gordon, little slip, needs to get rid of the basketball, found Timpson. Morgan Jones, shot clock nearing 10. Courtney Weber, Myers.
NC State's got numbers. Morgan Jones is slow to recover.
And listening to that halftime interview that Tabitha did with Sue Seminoles, the execution's not there, but it is the effort for Florida State. The execution is certainly there for NC NC State as Brown Turner adds a couple more, and the Wolfpack working it here in Greensboro.
We are seeing the balance from NC State on the offensive end. Everyone involved. Perez, little hesitation, floater to the rim. And then Jakia Brown Turner has been looking to drive in attack mode in this second half.
I need big king, big king. I need two.
On the Flame Grills.
Years here in Greensboro, and one of the strengths of this Wolfpack team is certainly its balance.
Yeah, 8 different players have led them in scoring, and the combination of Perez, Crutchfield, Brown Turner, Jones, and Cunane, 43 of 54 games they've been in the lineup together. And that's a lot of repetition. That's good chemistry as a group. And 7 different players have already scored in this game today. And it's not just about the talent of the individual players, it's how they work together. And there's just an awareness and a selflessness on this team. Just everyone willing to do whatever they have to win. And that's the kind of balance you have to have when you're facing tough defenses.
It's a big job for Florida State. Try to keep up, try to stop them. Tabitha, did you hear anything on the Florida State bench?
Yeah, Sue Seminoles was just trying to keep her team motivated and get them back in this game. She said, listen, we're doing some things good offensively, but we got to put a whole bunch of them together now. We have to play together, trust each other, and don't feel like you have to do it alone.
And that's the togetherness that she talked to Tabitha about even at halftime is we got to cut hard, we got to set screens. It's going to take everyone doing their part. And then we've seen it in flashes, Jen, but just not consistently from Florida State.
Yeah, that's been the problem, and that word consistency is one that has stuck with this Wolfpack team all season long.
And I don't know what Westmore said to Jakia Brown Turner at the half, but she has been much more aggressive in looking for offense in the third.
6 points in the first 20 minutes, 6 points already in this quarter. Myers is trying her best there inside against Cunane. It's been a tough go. 11th turnover by the Seminoles. I think Sue Seminoles thinking there may have been a foul on that play. Here's Brown Turner, a dozen in the game. Stopped this time. Out to Crutchfield, nails the three.
We were talking to Wes Moore yesterday about the X factors on his team, and he's got more depth, so he's got more names on that list as he looks to start the postseason run. And to me, none bigger than Kai Crutchfield. I mean, when she's knocking down shots, when she's defending at a high level, and it's been the case, in my opinion, the last couple of years, that's when they're at their best.
Bejedi, good work to get to the basket.
That's showing us some really impressive one-on-one moves. I mean, Bejedi is just really crafty at finding angles and getting to the middle of the floor and not afraid of the physicality. Really exposing her defensive matchup today.
Elissa Cunane, plenty of time to set her shot. Jackson to Jones. And she has just seemed a bit out of control in some of those drives to the basket in this game.
Likes to get back to her left hand, but that was not the right read. And it was the right read, however, for Kayla Jones. On the run, where NC State is dangerous, that fast break.
Kayla Jones showing you how it's done. The finish and some frustration on that Florida State sideline.
Papa.
I need big king, big king.
I think we should work that out. You never know what you might find here in Greensboro. What you do know is there's more basketball coming up tonight in our evening session. Let me tell you what, Miami-Louisville regular season was tight. It was a 3-point win for the Cardinals. So this Miami team has been playing really tough down the stretch. They were on the bubble out of the NCAA tournament at one point. They have played their way right into it. But this Louisville team, too, awfully good, and they managed to just barely escape with a win, 69-66. Miami led going into the fourth quarter, but Louisville put up 23 in the final quarter to get the win.
Well, looking forward to the Louisville Cardinals making their debut in the ACC tournament here in Greensboro, but Miami able to advance. The play of Destiny Harden impressive yesterday. And Katie Meyer's going to need that same kind of Miami toughness against the Cards, but you got a little confidence considering how close that earlier contest was, Jen.
Yeah, no doubt. And Louisville, another one of the best teams in the country, projected #1 seed, as is Elissa Cunane's NC State Wolfpack. Jones now with 9 points in the game for NC State. She'll head over to the bench. Jada Boyd in, and that's one of those times where you look and you say, it's just not fair. That is one of the reasons you bring in a player like Jada Boyd. Your level certainly doesn't drop at all if you're NC State.
Embarrassment of riches if you're Westmore. But you know, as we saw Kayla Jones going to the bench, I think about the story that Westmore always tells about how her first couple of years at NC State, she didn't like him too much because she wasn't getting playing time, wasn't really a key part of the rotation, but she was patient and waited for opportunity. He said now it's a love fest with him and Kayla Jones, as she is a very integral part of what they do.
Kayla, grad student from Jamesville, North Carolina, went to the same hometown as Coach Moore's wife, Linda. Reina Perez turned it over. Put it in the hands of Mariana Valenzuela, the 6'2 freshman out of Mexico for the Seminoles. Baldwin, blocked by Cunane. Crowd loves it. Is there some offense to be had off the block? Brown Turner hits the three.
The lefty three-point shot for Jakia Brown Turner. What a third quarter.
15 points in the game for Brown Turner, 9 of them since halftime. Gordon just slipped, kept the dribble though, didn't turn it over. Shot clock ticking down for Jackson, gets around Cunane.
Boy, NC State has defended the explosiveness of Florida State's perimeter very well, but Elissa Cunane didn't get the steal, but recovers for the block. I just love her intensity level in her ACC tournament debut this season, and then move the ball around, and you will find the shooter. Jakia Brown Turner gets it to go.
15-2 NC State run as this lead continues to grow for the regular season champs. Florida State, the 9 seed in this tournament, as Gordon is fouled.
The next hit counts for Florida State, number 11, Omaria Gordon, NC State foul.
Diamond Johnson committing the foul. That puts Omaria Gordon, OMG, as she is affectionately nicknamed, on the free throw line.
First true freshman to start at Florida State since Courtney Ward, a name that I know everyone probably remembers, who's a 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year out of high school. Sue Seminoles telling us that she's grown the most on the defensive end, which, as you know, Jen, coming into a league like the ACC, it's the toughest adjustment coming out of high school is all the great players you got to figure out how to guard.
I've been watching her in this game. She has been quick, anticipates well in the defensive end. Gordon on the bench now for Florida State. Boyd tries to drive, does.
Slippery. Jada Boyd doesn't need a lot of daylight to find an angle to the rim, and that time hesitated a little bit and then went back at it.
Valenzuela spinning to the basket, does the reverse. No finish though for the freshman. on the floor at the moment for NC State. Diamond Johnson. Hobby got a hand to the basketball, but couldn't hang on to it, so it'll go to Florida State.
Good defensive possession there by Florida State, containing the dribble, guarding multiple actions, forced a contested shot.
15 points for Cunane, who you just saw on the bench. And you certainly can't help but think about the potential maybe of another Cunane-Kitley face-off in the semifinals, although Kenny Brooks, as you may have heard at halftime, talking to Evan Lepler at this point, saying that's probably doubtful to get Kitley back. They need to be careful, think about the next tournament coming up as well. They're going to give it all they got, but of course they need to try to protect their ACC Player of the Year.
Yeah, he said they have the spring break coming up. They would go home and get a little home cooking. But just watching Kitley wincing, even from the sideline towards the end of that game, she was unable to really move her arm with a lot of freedom. So we just hope that she'll be okay and be able to play again at some point, whenever that may be.
Johnson in some trouble, and is taken away. Howard traveled. .4 on the clock for the Wolfpack to work with.
I remember how good Florida State was from the three-point line yesterday, Jen. They have only gotten 4 attempts.
Yeah, Florida State hit a season-high 9 three-pointers in their win over Boston College yesterday, but they have a sizable deficit to make up and only 1 quarter to do it. 10 minutes to go in this one from Greensboro.
I need big king, big king. I need two.
On the flame grilled stack.
And her consistency, her versatility, to me, she's another X factor for NC State as they start their postseason run. Going back to her freshman year, remember how important she was in the NCAA tournament for NC State. She tends to peak at this time of year.
Well, Jakia Brown-Turner picking it up for NC State, our Coyote Tractor turning point of this game. Bejedi for 3. The Seminoles' last 32 shots that they've taken in this game with China were from 2, and we just talked about how well the 3 was working for them yesterday.
Yeah, it was, and you can tell it's an emphasis for NC State. They've been out-denying, not allowing clean catches. They have been lock and trailing on Sammy Pleasis, really taking away those looks.
Drive and a foul, and Isaiah James will go to the free throw line, but Tabitha, we just saw a 3-pointer go down for Florida State. What more can you tell us about what they'd like from their offense?
Well, it's a lot of optimism out there. You wouldn't think that they were down by 22 points, Jen, because Sue Simrau sat down and she told her team so much better. And she was referring to offense, screening. She was just like, you'll get what you want if you keep setting these screens. And Jen LaChina, you have to wonder if Sue Simrau is thinking more of postseason play, and that's where her optimism is coming from.
Well, I mean, as long as there's time on the clock, Sue Simrau is going to be coaching her team up no matter what. I mean, you have to admire the consistent energy that comes from the sideline at Florida State and even bleeding over to her former player, Brooke Wyckoff. But, yeah, I mean, at this point, you're telling your team possession by possession, and, you know, we want to play our best basketball headed into the NCAA tournament. Have some good minutes, have some momentum.
Baldwin turns it over. That has certainly been a part of the problem. 13 turnovers in the game for Florida State, and the Wolfpack have taken advantage. And you know what? You take advantage of the minutes that you get in the game. And James doing that right now, the freshman out of Virginia Beach.
Westmore is so excited about Isaiah James. ACC all-freshman team, athletic, can shoot the 3, can get to the boards. I mean, he is like, we just don't have enough minutes for her to show everything she can do consistently. She's playing behind quite a rotation, but she came into Greensboro ready.
A couple of triples by Bejedi here in this 4th quarter for Florida State as well. But NC State, and this was something we talked about at halftime, talked about it all game, 21 points off turnovers. Florida State, 0 in that category.
We just mentioned how Sara Bejedi is 7 of 8 from the field. She's only missed 1 shot. Career high for Bejedi.
17 points in the game. And she has really come on. This is a player who transferred from Arizona State, was granted immediate eligibility for last season, but only appeared in 4 games. And now as this season's gone on, really starting to play a bigger role.
And you see the adjustment here by Wes Moore. He's saying, we got to get the ball out of her hands. Brings Hobby up to help on the trap. And Bejedi stays strong and gets fouled.
Bejedi back on it, drives and is fouled. So you've got players like Bejedi making a name for themselves now, and then you've got some other big names who've had some big seasons. As we take a look at our award winners, Wes Moore, your ACC Coach of the Year, talked about Player of the Year, Liz Kitley. Dave Wilson had a great first year with the Duke Blue Devils. Lorella Kubai, will we see her later? Such tremendous defensive effort, but boy, she hit the floor hard yesterday, and certainly hope we get to see her later on against Notre Dame.
You're hoping that she is okay, because she is no doubt the heart and soul of Nell Fortner's team on both ends of the floor.
Boyd is fouled.
Really nice pass from Jakia Brown-Turner. Heads up play to Boyd. Brown-Turner looking like a point guard on that pass.
Well, Lorella Kubai, this is the play last night. Oh my goodness, you just hate to see that. And Lorella Kubai embodies what this Georgia Tech team is all about, how hard they play, how great they work for one another. And I know everybody hoping that Kubai is okay for today and beyond for this Georgia Tech team.
Her relentlessness is something that we have all enjoyed watching. Yes, she got Defensive Player of the Year, but she's also a great facilitator at her side. Good size, good passing ability. She's just tough and determined. Boy, she is grit personified.
Bejedi. She's had some success knocking down those threes. And Isaiah James, she is definitely enjoying her time on the floor. And you talked to Wes Moore about her, and you said it. You know, the upside, he's so excited for the future. And he knows he's going to lose a lot of players after this year. They had the benefit of the COVID year, getting a lot of players back, like Kayla Jones, like Kai Crutchfield, like Raina Perez for another year. Elissa Cunane is a senior. So you're going to need some players to step up, and maybe you're getting a little glimpse right here of who one of those might be in James. Diamond Johnson, too, I think, leaves you some hope for the future. The transfer into the Wolfpack this season, just a sophomore, and Boyd, a junior for the Wolfpack. Simpson.
Getting a look at Timmons as well, who has come off of the bench for NC State. I don't know if Wes Moore is going to have to hit the portal as hard as he was selling to our Evan Lepler yesterday.
Yeah, Evan was asking him about that with this great legacy that this group has left, obviously, all these veteran players, and what next year might look like, and Wes and his signature humor. And well, going to hit that transfer portal pretty hard, but you're right. There's a lot in the cupboard right here in Raleigh for the Wolfpack.
Gets a rebound there. Hayes is about to check in. Another player that Wes Moore is really excited about, transfer from Mississippi State.
Well, the Wolfpack have taken care of business in this, their first ACC tournament game of 2022. Just as they've done the last 2 seasons, winning the championship. They have those back-to-back titles. And it had been quite some time before they won it 2 years ago. Have to go back to 1991, the last time they had won an ACC tournament title, much as the drought that they ended with their regular season title this year. That was their first since 1990.
Well, and Wes Moore said it's been 32 years, a whole lifetime for him. So he's really only 35, I think, according to his math.
Not sure I buy that.
Yeah, me either. But he did dance after that regular season clinch. But you don't see that kind of excitement from Wes. But he was with his players and did a little ditty for them in celebration.
And he admitted it meant a lot to this group, not only to win it, but they got to do it on their home floor. They knew they won at least a share of the regular season title in their second to last game, and they got to do that on their home floor in Raleigh. They won it outright by winning on the road in Blacksburg at Virginia Tech in the next game, and it is looking like that is what the rematch is going to be in the semifinals. And as Kenny Brooks said, no matter who they have to put out there, you know they're going to fight. And if today was any indication, that one will be must-watch.
Games between Virginia Tech and NC State are so fun. Those two teams have really battled it out. I think I remember Hobby hitting a shot in Blacksburg last season. That was a big one.
The NC State Wolfpack rolling in Greensboro. Everybody chipping in. Your big name players, your players off the bench, your glue and Kayla Jones, they're all getting it done for the Wolfpack.
Will they get comfy here in Greensboro in the ACC tournament?
And you remember what Notre Dame started out doing when they joined this conference. Nothing but win. They came in here, they won the tournament 4 years in a row, 2014 to 2017. They were winning the regular season title, dropped off a little bit, and now Niele Ivy's got them right back up there, contending with the top teams in the league.
And Notre Dame is another team that's in consideration for hosting. So important NCAA tournament implications, even for those teams that are in. We think about the bubble, but it's also about your bracket positioning. It's about hosting opportunities. So much to play for.
Well, Maria Gordon, in her ACC tournament debut this year for Florida State, had 9 points yesterday. And has been able to contribute, has not shown to be afraid of the big stage. 9 today as well. Just a tough task for Florida State to try to take down this NC State team that's clicking at the right time. And to be honest, they've been clicking all season, but the Wolfpack have been playing well.
Oh, and credit the way NC State came out, took care of business, kind of put Florida State away, and now Wes Moore can get his starters some rest as they look to play in the semifinals tomorrow, save those legs.
That is always key. When you think about the way that this tournament challenges you, try to win 3 games in 3 days, and that is if you had a double bye. Kenny Brooks, his Hokies are trying to win 4 in 4 days. I mean, it is a monster. And that is a monster shot from Diamond Johnson.
With the shiny shoes, those kits are, caught my attention. Goes along with the speed that Wes Moore was describing of Diamond Johnson.
Come on now, goes along with the name too, doesn't it? The shine, shine like a diamond.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah. You are in postseason form.
You know, the China, it took a little while to get there, but you got to finish strong. NC State, Hobby, not giving up. They're not stopping playing.
Camille Hobby's so professional. I mean, she just goes about the business of her responsibility in such a very mature way. Attention to detail, playing hard every possession. You know what you're going to get when she comes into the game, 41 in white.
And you remember, as we look forward to that matchup in the semifinals, Virginia Tech, NC State last season, Hokies got the upset against the Wolfpack. But Camille Hobby in that game, it went to overtime. She hit this crazy three to send it to overtime, but then Virginia Tech scored an NCAA record 26 points in the overtime period. Asia Shepherd had 18 of them to get that win and that upset.
Yeah, I mean, when those two teams play, you just called the game to end the regular season between Virginia Tech and NC State. It was a nail-biter.
Yeah.
Shepherd with a chance to win it at the end. I think she's going to want a little bit of revenge, considering her team came up short.
Gordon. And I think Tabitha brought up a really good point in one of her reports earlier when she was listening to Sue Semrau on the bench that, yes, you're playing for right now in this game and possession by possession, but you're also thinking, all right, there will be another game to play for this Florida State team. They're going to be in the NCAA tournament. They believe they've done enough. And right now they are projected as one of 8 ACC teams into the field. And everybody wanting Genesis Bryant, who is just driving there for NC State, to add to the scoring total for the Wolfpack.
Turning the corners, Bryant looking to be aggressive.
Sophomore out of Jonesboro, Georgia, will go to the free throw line.
There are a lot of NC State fans in the building right now. There is so much red, which is different from the Seminole colors. There's a garnet, I guess.
Yeah, you're correct, yep. Oh, it's pretty clear. This is a pretty bright red around most of the arena. Greensboro Coliseum being taken over by the Wolfpack fans.
Well, and there has been 4 teams in the history of the ACC tournament to win 3 tournament championships in a row. You mentioned Notre Dame. North Carolina did it in 05 to 08. They won 4. Duke won 5 from 2000 to 2004. And then Maryland from 81 to 83. So NC State is technically the last team in the triangle that has yet to three-peat on the ACC tournament championship. They can do that.
Well, our Hardy star to watch today, it's tough to pick just one, so we didn't. We picked the entire NC State team because it was a team effort. 10 different players have scored, and they've all contributed, helping to play good defense, turn the Seminoles over, and make that a huge advantage for their team in this game as well.
Yeah, getting comfortable on the defensive end, to me, was the most important aspect of this game for NC State, because then they can get out in transition. And your defense is something you can control, but they did start to knock down some shots at a clip of 54% from the field, and that percentage going up from the three-point line for James.
Isaiah James has 9 points in 9 minutes since coming onto the floor.
Your time to shine. You get to check in, show coach what you can do. You know, March Madness is upon us. You want him to know that you can be relied upon.
Foul on the floor is against Jessica Timmons for NC State. Not the best today for Florida State, and I don't think there's any question that's what it was going to take. That's what it's going to take for anybody to get past this NC State team. Just 1 loss in conference play in the regular season. That was against Notre Dame. The Irish pulling the upset, and they're still alive, playing later tonight against Georgia Tech. And Westmore, he's just not going to rest easy until that final buzzer sounds. In fact, probably not till the end of the tournament.
Well, he wasn't resting easy with the #1 seed, right? I mean, talking about what Jeff Walls said about his approach to having a bye.
Yeah, wasn't it that Westmore was the only one who could win the lottery, the double bye, and still complain about having to pay taxes, getting a tough matchup right off the bat.
Yeah, he said, we've got to play a hard team that's already settled in and got some confidence, but the Wolfpack with a very impressive showing here to kick things off in Greensboro.
I don't think anybody was feeling too sorry for him.
No.
21 points in the game. Let's just give a hand to Sara Bejedi. She's played a heck of a tournament for Florida State.
Yes. Really proven that she can be relied upon as Florida State goes back and regroups and gets ready for the rest of their season in the NCAA tournament.
And NC State, I mean, you're looking at a scoreline that's indicative of a lot of what they've done all season long against a conference that is as deep as it has ever been. The Wolfpack have been dominant. Thought we might get a couple more there from Isaiah James. Do get an offensive rebound, though, block. James gets it back. Everybody getting in. No foul called. But step one for the NC State Wolfpack in defense of their ACC tournament title is complete. A 30-point victory over the Seminoles.
That is the way you want to start your run to hopefully defending the ACC tournament championship if you're Wes Moore. His team clicking on all cylinders, showing their depth, really focused.